Um, and yeah, so I'm just gonna let Hercules come on in.
All right. Thank you, Stephanie.
Mhm. Hello, Dale.
Hello, Hercules.
Hello.
Thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you for setting that powerful protection up. Yes, there's some strange things afoot, but this is good exercise for you and everybody. So,
Mhm. We're all protected now.
yes. Yeah.
I know I love watching them get settled too. Angie's like, I love that. I know I do too. It's like they're in the skin, the
Yeah,
Stephanie suit.
and it's definitely yeah, it feels cool.
For our Soul Speak sessions, whenever we do it, it's really cool because we each session people usually get to meet like five or six sometimes guides of theirs from alien, angelic, god and goddess, and every single one, especially the aliens, come in and they're like, "This is new. This is interesting," and they just can't believe it. One of them was like using like couldn't stop themselves from being silly. It was very funny. The
It
Tiffas,
does.
it was the Tiffas. That's right, the Fae.
It does feel.
All right, Hercules. So,
All right.
welcome to your interview where we get to know who you are.
I'm
Um,
happy to be here. This is. It's been a fun quickie.
Speaking of innuendo like that, I had a
Yeah.
couple of messages about the promo image we used of you with the nip slip. And
Oh.
I wanted to make it clear I did create two forms of the images, one more demure. And he chose the less demure version.
I thought it was great. And, why not? We're here to have fun, right?
Yeah. If you got it, flaunt it. And you had
You
it.
got it. You got it fun. Love your body. Love it. Or love your AI rendering.
Exactly. Okay. That was a good start. Okay. Welcome, everyone. Stephanie is channeling Hercules. And so, Hercules, before we talk about all your stories and mythology, I'd like to know how you would describe your energy to people meeting you today for the first time.
Oh, my energy is really light and fun. But also, I guess you can say, um, I like how you guys label things. There's like key words that are popping in here. That I'm gonna start athletic. You know,
Mm, yes.
uh, I, definitely fit, and my energy is balanced masculine and nurturing yet firm.
I like that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, and I had a fun question to start us off with. If you were walking the earth today as a human,
Hmm.
how would people experience you, your personality, what your likes, your tastes, all that kind of stuff?
Oh, my personality. It like it. I I'm big into moving things around physically with your body. So,
Hercules, two men in a truck, starting a business.
yeah, like, and,
One man in a truck.
you know, yeah, I mean, I like to think that I just bring like a good fun competition, not to say like your man's man, but like, I definitely enjoy some of the masculine things and yeah, like slaying beasts and we're going fishing, whatever.
So you're like, you describe yourself as like a fit outdoorsman type,
Yeah,
into
yeah.
sports,
But also
watching
in tune with
sports
the
or playing?
feminine side. Oh,
There
what?
is. I said watching sports or playing sports or both.
Playing sports, not necessarily watching.
Yeah. And you were saying that there's a feminine side to you as well, very
Yeah,
nurturing.
yeah. Like I am, there is a feminine, soft, nurturing side that also likes poetry and music and art, and some of the finer things that you know this experience has to offer in this physical reality. And so I'm a big advocate of experiencing through your body,
Mhm.
the soft and the rugged.
I love that. And then if you had to pick a sport that you love the most, what would it be?
I told you this, but I
Yeah, they
like
don't know.
baseball. I like baseball. I don't like watching it. I like playing it.
There you go.
Or helping those who are or playing it. I'm a supporter of some of uh yeah.
I could
I'm
see you
in
as like a little league coach helping
yeah,
to.
yeah.
Okay. And then I know you told me, but they haven't had a chance to know this. Like, what would you say your favorite colors are?
Gold and green.
And that's why we're sporting the green and gold.
Yes, I love it.
And if you had like to describe what music you'd be listening to as you move around people's furniture in your moving truck business, what music would you be jamming to?
I like 90s hip hop.
90s hip hop.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And would you say you had like a favorite artist of that time?
Tupac.
Tupac.
Yeah. That guy just hits.
Do you have a favorite song of his
No,
that you
I
know,
like all of them,
like
and
all of
I'm
them?
not just stuck to hip hop, but I do like hip hop. It was cutting edge, um, and then of course I think I like some of the other like I mean yeah, there's classical, but I like jazz. I do like jazz too.
Okay. And I have to ask, with your movie being so popular and the soundtrack of it being very good, do you actually like? Have you seen the movie? Do you like the songs, or is it just too cringe for you to experience?
I'm aware of the movie. I'm aware of the series that was made. I'm aware of the marketing, so to speak, of
I totally
my
forgot about the series. Oh my God, I
yeah,
love
of
that
my image,
series.
and um, it just goes right along with the mythology and stuff, and it's fun to see where humans go with it, where the creativity goes with all of it. Um, but I like to think that you know people were inspired to make something that is based upon this consciousness, this form of my existence. um I'm inspiring them in some way,
Mhm.
so there is involvement, and that kind of goes with any kind of inspiration that comes through. It's inspirations presented by an energy,
Mhm. That's true. You've been inspiring people a long time. I mean, that's
yeah,
seriously an old story of ours, and it still is very, very strong in our
it
consciousness.
is. Yeah, it is very strong in conscious mind.
Okay, so people associate you so much with strength. How would you define strength now?
Strength is like inner strength is when I think when I think of someone as that is a strong person. It's more of the like sacral or the solar plexus kind of strength is where I think true strength comes from, the
Mm,
heart and your solar, like from within, and then obviously you can reflect it out. So
yeah, but you're also very into the physical strength and
yes,
strength building.
oh yes.
I think you even said like you are interested in working with people who are like
Hmm.
about to or already on a path of like strengthening their bodies.
Yeah, absolutely. Like if anybody's watching this, or I'll just put it out there, it's true. Like if you're really into working on your physical, I don't want to be like your
Mhm.
physical appearance, but your strength building within and without,
Mhm.
I'm I'm your guy. I am totally your guy. I'm your guy's guy, but I'm soft. Like we'll work out hard, but take a sauna, you know?
I love that. And so, like, is there something you'd want someone to do, like if they're about to go into the gym and just like call on you and be like, all right, Hercules, back
Yeah.
me up?
Call on me and I'll be there with you. I physically won't be able to spot you, but
Yes, always have a spotter.
energetically I'll be your spotter. And then also, if you call me in to work with you on your nutrition and stuff, like I will help emphasize your internal yes, no when it comes to food and dietary. If, we build that connection and then, you know, there's the consent in me being able to give you that kind of like, do you, that kind of thing
Yeah.
in
Okay.
our real, but yeah.
I'm getting a lot of comments that there people were surprised about the Tupac and the 90s hip hop.
Yeah, I knew it would throw you guys off.
I mean, yeah, I can, I don't know. What would you like to say about that? Because, okay, I will say, 90s hip hop was like, I mean, hip hop in general sort of seems to promote like
You
cuss
know,
words and like naughtier themes,
I
but what
I
would you like to
just
say?
I appreciated the cutting edge, and it was the rising of a new genre. And it was a time where there was a lot of it was still very dense and dark in the world, and that art, the hip hop back then was true art form and expression of what these humans were experiencing, and they created a new genre, and it was a group of very talented, poetic, but a little rugged. Now I've got other feelings about the way hip hop has gone. And
Oh
this is
yeah, I know.
and I appreciate creativity in music, but some of it just it got tainted. But the original, like up and coming, like the birthing of
Yeah,
that was coming from such
like raw
a dense,
poetry. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. So I think I appreciate it as
as a
for
creative
what it was.
form. Yeah, okay, I get
Yeah,
that. Thank you for that answer. Now
you're
I'm
welcome.
picturing human Hercules as like having a hip hop
You can imagine me in like
podcast.
some high tops
Yeah, a
or
hip
something.
hop podcast. Yeah, with his chain with the big H, platinum. Okay, so we already talked about the thirst inducing promo and that you're okay with people thirsting a little bit after images. I feel like all the promo images of all the gods and goddesses so far have been,
Why
they're all hot, they're all sexy.
why not, right?
Why not?
Why not?
They're very body positive here. We're very body positive.
Yeah, and it's not saying this is what it got. It's just like, why not? Feel it is.
It's
It's
a
fun.
tool. It wasn't meant to cover everything, too.
There are sculptures of me out there where I'm a huge bearded man.
I literally have a little statue of you where you're like super
I-
not
That's a great
clothed, a lot of
one.
exposed skin. Okay. So now moving on to like the myth that we think we know about you. Most people know you through these myths, especially like the 12 labors. Um, I was wondering if, so I had the 12 labors, what they were called, and like one brief sentence or line about like the lesson they were supposed to teach, supposedly. Do you mind if I just quickly go through the 12?
Yeah, you can go through the 12.
Okay. So the first one was the Nemean lion, and it taught courage and persistence over cleverness. The second was the Lernaean hydra, address the root or problems multiply. Number three was the Cernian hind, mastery through restraint and respect. Fourth was the Ermanthian boar, guiding chaos rather than fighting it. 5 was the Augean stables, creative solutions for long neglected messes. 6 was the Stymphalian birds, clearing mental and environmental noise. 7 was the Cretan bull, redirecting uncontrolled power. 8 was the Mares or the mares of Diomedes, removing what feeds on imbalance. 9 was the belt of Hippolyta, authority exchanged through respect. 10 was the cattle of Geron, claiming what's yours beyond resistance. 11 were the golden apples, humility, timing, and assistance. And the last one, Cerberus, facing the shadow without weapons or avoidance. Okay, so based upon that little brief synopsis of all of them, were they literally quests and beasts that you had to fight, or is this more symbolism that got mistranslated?
It's more symbolism that got mistranslated.
Okay.
I mean, I've, uh, I have killed beasts and hunted, and when I was a human, and but again, it's all like a metaphorical. A lot of this allegorical stuff is created for the human mind to perceive concepts. And so that's the fun of all this. But, as you're reading them off, I'm sitting there going, yeah, that was an adventure because, it's in the human psyche of these events and stuff. So that it's a fun way to imagine them, but also it's a metaphor.
Mm. And Angie had a really good tip. She said that she's plugged those labors into ChatGPT and asked it to based off of everything that they know about her life, to kind of give her guidance based upon those 12 labors. And she said it was really amazing advice.
That's great, Angie. Yeah, exactly. And so, you know, I encourage. That's a great way to use AI and apply, mythology and also the metaphors that really relate. And I know that's the correct way to really use it. And the most common way it's perceived is story time.
Okay,
But
thank you
yeah,
for that.
yeah.
And so you said you had, you've killed your fair amount of beasts. Was it like quest related, or was it more like hunting?
Hunting. Of course, I had quests and stuff. And you can take some of those,
Some from the list, yeah.
some from the list, and it's like, yeah, there's some story to it, and then it's like, well, then let's, writers were creating these metaphors, these hymns, these stories, you know, but yeah, so I've like the lion. I killed a lion. Yes.
Okay, so this statue is accurate then. Did you wear it as a headpiece?
Yeah, the lion and I are symbolic together.
Yeah, I've always attached you with the lion.
And the lion is like a death and rebirth of self.
Mm. And I've always attached Yeshua as well as to the lion, like the lion-hearted
The
one.
lion. Yeah, yes, yeah, it's
So another part of the myth is that you were a demigod. And I was wondering if you could kind of explain what part of that is truth and help us understand that better.
Are you referring to the conception of me?
Yeah, I want to know
Yeah.
because you were, according to our legends, you are I forget your mother's name. I saw it started with an A, and your father was Zeus.
Yes. So that that's another link to a virgin conception, right?
Uh-huh.
'Cause- And so it's just kind of tied to many heroes that have come in throughout before Yeshua that were born of a virgin, and the virgin that is referenced is a different context of virgin in today. So
Right.
it was construed. But there's this pattern, you see.
Yeah.
and so that's why my consciousness is linked to these patterns. Um, so we'll say Zeus impregnated my human mother, and I was conceived. There's multiple things that can come of that, but if you, I mean, there is, if that was a physical thing, or there's the divine inception, which is more of a spiritual conception. I don't know how to
Mm.
describe it.
And so with Mary Magdalene kind of talked about, or was it Isis talked about, Mary's conception of Jesus,
Yes.
of Yeshua, and she
So
was saying that, it's not that she was like unawares of what was happening. Like she's like, I was a priestess, I was
yeah,
channeling forward Isis's energy, and that is how the energetic 1+1 could create Yeshua, basically.
yes, yes.
And so it's similar. Your mother was like a priestess then.
It's similar, and then yes, it's similar to that. But then you can also take that context and kind of overlap it with um more of more of an alien factor of maybe I was just this hybrid alien being.
That's true.
um
That's an interesting way of looking at it.
so it's like there's layers of possibilities, and of course you throw in timelines. Let's not go too long, let's simmer down on that, but so there's so many different concepts and stuff, but for the mythology of Hercules, the Greek god, with Zeus is my father. um yeah, in that story, it's my mother conceived me through Zeus via channeled inception, I suppose.
Mhm. Okay, thank you for that. So yeah, Yeshua wasn't the first,
There,
but we
yeah.
but we think of him as like the only virgin conception like that. Okay, very cool. So you've just been spiraling out the story, and someone asked they don't understand the link between you and Yeshua, but
It's
go ahead.
it's the oversoul consciousness
Mhm.
that I am, like there's expressions
Hmm. Similar
and
to how each of us humans also have like parallel life
parallel.
expression.
Yes.
And
So
so Emily had a really good description of it the other day, where it was like imagine a fern, like a fern or a succulent plant that constantly rebuds and buds and buds. And so there's like an original plant, Oversoul, and it keeps like ferning out another tendril with all these other little fern babies that can sprout from it. Now, those are like the multiple expression fractals. Yeah, like Andy
yes,
said. And so
yes,
Yeshua is a fractal of Hercules,
all connected. But
all
yes,
connected.
and this is like Hercules is my Hercules expression is Hercules. It's like I have this personality, this mm, expression of you know uniqueness in itself, and so there's similarities like in the heart of Yeshua and I, but we're two totally different uh,
Beings.
beings, but animated by the same oversoul.
Right. Yeah, it would be like me meeting a parallel life of mine and be like, oh, we're
Hmm.
nothing alike, but
Yeah,
we have some connections.
yeah.
Okay. Um, I think Emily once said that you and Yeshua have sort of like a brotherly relationship together.
Yeah, yeah, it really is. We get along well, and it is like a brotherly relationship.
Okay, so thank you for explaining like the demigod aspect and all of that.
Mhm.
So you got to live though as like basically fully human, the fully human experience there, even though
Mhm.
you were special human.
I was, yes, I was on Earth physically born, grew up, and was a human, and I told you this story, Dale, but you know, I was when I was Stephanie was first connecting with me, um, and just kind of feeling in. I was giving her signals of a blister on a toe, because, you know, when I was in that when I was incarnated as, um, Hercules, or I am currently on another
Yeah.
timeline, but you know, I had this gnarly blister on my big toe, and it took me out. Like this strong demigod, you know, human being, uh, became a little man wimp over a blister because I couldn't walk properly, and it took me out. It took me out for a while, and so you know, that's a very human thing. That's probably one of the bigger things that I carry with me from that lifetime, was that, as like, this is very human. I carried that experience through just as a souvenir, I think.
Yeah. Of like your memory of like humaning was hard because we're physically like the littlest thing, a hangnail, a blister, has us literally on our deathbed sometimes. Like, or at least feels like it.
Yeah, yeah. So simple.
Someone had an interesting question. Is there an expression of yours that you don't get along with? Is that even possible?
Well, that's the thing. If you,
If you're just like, ugh, that guy.
that goes wraps into embracing your shadows
There you go.
and,
Yeah.
and nurturing. But everybody has a part of them where they're like, I'm not a fan of that. But I'm here to share that, accepting and loving it regardless. But yeah, I've had lower density, uh, versions of me. I've been a rock.
Oh,
Um, did dolphins, dolphin people, messed around with that. My consciousness. One that I'm really keen of is this. It's an off-world planet, but it's where the celestial whales live. I love, visiting there. So like I have an existence there, not as the whale, but as like a sprite
mhm.
in that realm, and it's just so delightful.
Are they similar, the celestial whales, similar to how they depicted uh, those whales in the Avatar movie?
Yes, yes,
So like very, very advanced spiritual beings.
yeah. They really. I'm glad that they honed in on that one in that movie series. But yeah, and so like that's like, you ask me, or I guess I just started sharing it, but you know, like, thinking about my least favorite one, and then it's like one of my most favorite ones is just being this little poof of something around these magnificent creatures, or energies, beings,
That's so
whales.
cool. Thank you for
Yeah,
sharing that. That's an
you're
interesting
welcome.
picture. And so you were like a sprite with them. You just like followed them
Yeah,
around,
that's
swam
the
with them.
best word I can find to get close to it. But yeah, just a little of something, exist, like I got a piece of me there.
I love that. Okay. All right. And another thing that we have in our myth and our story reference is, of course, the movie. And in that movie, the Disney movie,
Hmm.
you and Hades are featured as like foes. And this is especially interesting because we recently interviewed Hades, and he's a really cool guy.
I like movies.
And so I was just wondering, like, did you, as Hercules the man, have a connection to Hades during your story, and what was that like when you went? I guess it had to do with the 12th labor, right? When you had to go against Cerberus, so to speak.
Yeah, and I like that 12th labor, that going against Cerberus, because it's, talking about like embracing your shadows. But, there is a storyline based on that one, on the 12th labor, where, I Persephone and Hades work with me and let me just basically borrow Cerberus and be like, I got the dog. But that little side Miss story too is great because it just that I feel like highlights the um our true dynamic of, you know, we're all playing our roles in this reality, in this, in supporting humanity and the magical mysteries of this realm. And we all have
Mhm.
like our roles to play. That's why we've had that's why we're been around and we're still around and we're here. Like we're a part of this, you know. When I say we, like the Council of Nine, and then like all the expressions of all of, you know, the deities and you know, pantheon gods and what have you. Um, but shit, I lost my track.
That's okay. We were talking about how you and Hades and Persephone kind of work
Yes,
together.
yes. And so it's like we all have a role, just like you all have a role, and so we get along great. But you know, in the Disney movie of Hercules and Hades, I mean, you got to have that good guy, bad guy in those storylines, right?
Hmm, hmm.
But I think we're both good guys. So
Yes, I agree. And an interesting thing about you being connected to Hades and Persephone in that lifetime, and also in the Council of Nine, is like you guys are very interwoven in so many different stories. It's just I find it so interesting. Like you've all been with each other at some point. You've all shared lifetimes. It's just your soul families, basically.
yeah, we're like a magnified soul family, just what everybody else is doing in their soul family clusters here incarnated on Earth, what you all are doing with your groups. We do the same thing, play different roles, but we're here with humanity. And so as you evolve, we evolve with you to teach and guide that meets your consciousness level.
Okay. All right. Let's see. So going back to your myths, according to your myths, those labors really only started in your life because of like severe experience of loss of your wife and children. And
Yes.
and according to what we think we know, it was you were accused because of what's her name? Hera's
Hera.
influence, and her jealousy, she like forced madness on you. What would you like to say about the truth of that, and just that generalized loss experience completely?
So the truth from that, I guess, on from like a human standpoint, like the human perception at that time, really goes along with madness and illusion. Um, and I can I can sense that the question wants me to answer it more like in a human manner, and I want to go off on like a parable with it, like so like you could take the idea of the influence of Hera creating me to go mad and creating illusion for me to view, you know, my loved ones as monsters and beasts, and I slain them, and as they die, the illusion spell wears off. It also goes to with like what I want to kind of look at that is um, taking a responsibility for my heart and my you know, like in this scenario, like taking responsibility of heart health and mind health, and incoherence. And I feel like um, I guess what I'm trying to get at is you know, where I was trying to go with it was like knowing your inner power, your inner strength, and your core. So when illusion is presented to you, you can coherently and rationally evaluate what's going on instead of running off of pure emotion. And
Mm.
and see through the illusion. And this is what I'm trying to get at, kind of as to what you guys are experiencing or what you're going to be experiencing,
Mhm.
like understand, because there's going to be so much noise and confusion out there with these changes that are going on. You all know what we're talking
Mhm.
about.
Mhm.
But so I'm turning that story into more like if I had my heart in a healthy place in my mind, and because usually when your heart is in a negative space, then your mind, that's when mental illness really comes in, is when you're hurt in the heart. So heart health and then mind coherence is key to be able to see through illusion and not question yourself, is
Mhm.
what I was trying to get at. That was kind of long.
No, I appreciate that. And I mean, it's very hard to talk about. That's like, it was a terrible time in the story, but it's important because it spurned your entire,
Yeah, I was.
the story of you.
And the power of illusion and not knowing my own power and my own, you know truth, my own center. I wasn't able to see through the illusion, and I was acting on rage and emotion.
Mhm.
So very, very human
Qualities.
emotion. And we shouldn't shun that, but we should healthily, like in a healthy manner, um, address the everybody has a little bit of rage.
Yes. Talking
And
about, it's so important right now, as you were saying, to address our emotional and mental health. And there are a lot more, I guess, methods and ways to do that than there were in your times.
right, right.
Um, are there any you want to like really focus that you would say like really get the Hercules stamp of approval in terms of mental health nowadays?
um I mean, it really starts with, because your heart, this, the, your heart has a protective energy around it, and then the more that you build, the more that you get hurt, the thicker your wall becomes, and then it's harder for you to give love and receive love, or give love up to yourself. So I really like to emphasize on um, focusing on doing heart opening exercises to kind of get the energy flowing. So then that way you can really start to, mm, it really does start with, healing the heart. Everything stems from the heart, your connection, and your soul source is all in the heart.
Mhm.
So the key to yourself is literally through the heart. And so I, if you need, if therapy is great, and doing your shadow work and finding community, all that stuff, that's key.
It is key.
Um, and if you're, having these conversations and you're already, open to what this is, what's all really going, the reality of starting to understand how you work, and how the reality of how existing here in a healthy manner works is through within, and healing. It's all about healing. So
Mhm. Thank you for
you
that.
all are on the right. You're there. You're healing yourselves and loving yourselves. Um, so I guess my thing is, I'm just focus on the heart. I mean,
I
that's where it
actually have
starts.
a funny story. So in the beginning of my awakening, that was a huge, I guess, kind of download for me. I need to focus on daily heart opening meditations. And so I did for like a full month every day. And I was actually going to go to a music festival at the end of that month for the first time. And my friend was saying that she was going to bring some party favors, if you know what I mean. And I assumed she was going to, it was mushrooms. And so I was like mentally preparing and reading about mushrooms, all that kind of stuff. Well, the day of the festival, she's like, no, not mushrooms, MDMA. And I was like, I'm not prepared. I haven't done any research on this. And so I like quickly looked up, like, what is MDMA? What can you expect? And like one of the first things I saw was it's like the chemical heart chakra opener. And I
Oh,
was like, no way. Of course it is. After a whole month of me doing this daily, like, of course it's going to be a heart chakra opening medicine. And yeah, and it was really wonderful to see because I was the only person in this group of like 8 people, and they were all couples. and I know them all very well, so I knew their ups and downs, all of their stuff, and I got to like. It was funny because while I was taking the medicine, I was just kind of watching all the other couples. I'm like, what's going on? And I could see them talking to each other, and I could see mostly an improvement on the men in the group and how they just like so many things that I knew they had been wanting to say for so long, but had been, inhibited and be like, no, whatever you have in your head that's like, no, I can't say that, or they don't want to hear that. That silly voice was gone. And I could see them completely open up to their partner and just be like, I love you. I've always loved you. And it was just like beautiful. And I was like, I can't believe this. And I would pop to the next couple and the same thing would be happening. I'm like, this is nothing like it's depicted in the movies where you're going to be like licking a fuzzy wall. Like it was really